Saturday. Happy Saturday. Today is June the 18th. We are midway through the month already.
Flying by.
And 4th of July will be coming up here before we know it.
Really soon, yeah. We're excited about that. We're heading to Florida, as I told you guys. So, but we wanted to deliver our weekly live here for you guys.
Yep. No, exactly. So as always, we want to keep it kind of short, let you guys get on with your weekend. And but still hopefully provide you guys some value. A lot of stuff's going on in the world right now, and we want to try to avoid all that noise. But we want to stay focused and try to focus on our health, right?
Our health and just running, is our passion. So all these things that we try to give you are, tips to help you run better, to help you live better, and hopefully you're getting good value out of these.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see here. We're going to go ahead and share our slides here for just a sec. So again, we want to thank you guys as I'm doing this for all you guys have been posting in the group recently. Barbara, Nikki, Sue,
and it's
Michael, all you guys have been posting. So we're just so grateful for that. And again, that's the reason we're doing this, to try to build community, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, is we really want to build community because we're living in some very precarious times, and we'll see how things evolve here over the next few months. But one of the things we always have is what we control, right? So our health in terms of what we're eating nutritionally, community, like-minded people, family, your churches, any kind of support group, and then obviously running is the vehicle that we also use to kind of clean our head out and just keep those, everything else moving, right?
Absolutely. It's our stress relief, but it's great for our health. It has a lot of mental, like I said. It's for me, it's solved a lot of problems. It's got me through a lot of bad times. It's got me through some great times. So it is definitely my go-to.
Yeah, and then today we're going to talk about how iron, again, it's going to go back to a little bit more on the nutrition side, but why it's so important for your body. And again, this is for those people who choose to, we're going to stress, and obviously we're going to talk about plants, but there's other ways to get your iron, but this is what we want to dig into because it's so important for us runners because.
Absolutely. It's one of those things we always hear about, magnesium or all those minerals, potassium and calcium and all that. But iron is just something we really don't think about. And I told you guys before, it would not even be on my radar because of the diet that I was eating. What I thought would be fine, but when I went to get blood, I was not able to get blood because my iron was too low. And I consciously made some changes in my diet, added some things, and then the next time I went, it was fine. So you can address these things easily with diet. It's one of those things that you absolutely, what you eat matters. So we just want to talk about the importance of it. It might not be, like I said, on your radar, but it can have some significant, just bad effects on how you feel, how you perform, all kinds of things that you might not realize.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why we want to dig in a little bit today. Again, as we talk each week, this is not medical advice. Please do your own research. This is the research that we do. We're both passionate about it. She goes really deep on the science aspect because that's kind of her background. And we want to share this with you guys, but hopefully provide some value. And as we stay here today, I will enjoy every moment to the fullest because, again, it's something that we control so we can enjoy each day that we want to. We make a choice to do that, right? So, again, I want to talk about the importance of iron today.
Iron-rich food, right?
Iron-rich food, yep, exactly. So last week, as a recap, we talked about the functional movements. That's really what we want to stay resilient. We shared with you guys, we both suffered through some injuries, but we worked through that, right? Why? Because we want to stay resilient. So we're working on strength training this whole winter, this whole year. We've been focusing on that.
Absolutely, yeah. And it'll make you I know it'll make me a stronger runner. I'm going to have to build back up my, endurance in the longer runs, but I'll get that back quickly because I've done it before.
Exactly.
And functional strength is, I talk about it all the time because it's so hypercritical, especially as, most of us are in our 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond. And that's when it really matters.
Yeah, exactly. So just a quick recap. We talked about the importance of press, pull, squat. Those are your three core, really biggest exercises you can do. You can do those without going to the gym. Very simple. We gave you guys some good examples. We showed you some videos even. And then, of course, you have the hinge, lunge, and rotation, which are also specific for runners. So the other ones are kind of like just everyday life, and the other ones are more specific to runners. And again, as we shared, we're going to do more of those examples like that and put those into these weeklies, and we'll share them in the group as well. Stuff that we're doing, at least, I should say.
Absolutely.
So today we'll talk about iron, like why, what you need to know. What is it?
What is it? How you can fix it? And some of the symptoms you might not realize that you're having these symptoms, and it might be something that is worth checking into.
Right, like she said, we went to give blood last year. She couldn't do it because she was low in iron, and then when she realized back, she had some of these symptoms and just wasn't paying attention close enough, right?
Yeah,
they're just simple.
It wasn't
bad,
that, like I said, it wasn't on my radar, but it's definitely something that's worth checking. That you're not, like I said, probably most people don't even think about it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we want to talk about today. Okay, so iron, what is it, right?
All right. It's a mineral. We know it's an essential trace mineral that we need. Your body needs. It's for blood function, for transporting oxygen. It's a huge thing of how we get energy. It's a big component of hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the protein found in red blood cells that allow you to transport oxygen. And then myoglobin, which is really important for us too, because that's how it's a protein that we store oxygen in our muscles. So the amount of oxygen, which equals energy, can be delivered to our muscles, and then we can store in our muscles is hugely, beneficial to having that at the right level so we can perform, because we're asking our muscles, we're asking our body to do a lot of things. And if it doesn't have that iron status, our mineral status is super important for all these functions to actually happen.
Right. So you think about this again, we all want to have high energy. We want to perform as well as we can to the best of our abilities. We want to stay injury resilient, but it's all at the foundation of energy. And if you don't have enough iron, as Patty just mentioned, all these things with your hemoglobin and oxygen are going to be affected, and you're going to have lack of energy.
Absolutely. So it's, like I said, something I was not even aware of, but 56% of runners are iron deficient. A lot of people hear about anemia, like you're anemic if you have low iron, but anemic is just low hemoglobin. You can be iron deficient without being anemic. And a lot of tests will only test to see if you're anemic, or they'll only test hemoglobin. But you can have a normal hemoglobin count, normal red blood cell count, and still be iron deficient and still have some of the same actual symptoms of anemia. So it's really important to kind of know, like I said, to have this, be on your radar. But we are more prone to it. Believe it or not, every time you hit the pavement, that foot striking, hemolysis happens where you actually damage red blood cells. So they don't function. They're not able to carry the hemoglobin. They're not able to do their job, which is delivering oxygen to our muscles. So that's just something that just happens. There's no way of not having that happen because we're runners, and
it's just part of the process, right?
Yeah. We also sweat a lot more than the average person.
Especially this summer heat now that we're all dealing with.
Yeah. So, and then through our urinary tract and our GI tract, we're more vulnerable for losing it. Any athletes, any long distance event, anything like that puts a lot of athletes at risk for this. And you could be having issues with performance and all that, not even realizing it, thinking it might be back to something else, when it could just be, like I said, your mineral status or your iron status is not where it needs to be, because it will impair muscle function and it will decrease your aerobic capacity, that capacity to go longer.
Right. Yeah. So this is why it's so important, right? Because if you're iron deficient, all these things are going to impact it. And you don't want that, right? So here are some classic symptoms. I'm sure we've all had these in some form. I know I have in different capacities. Now, it doesn't mean you're like completely, but again, you got to be paying attention to these things, right?
And it's more long term.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Every runner gets fatigued, raises their heart rate and gets short of breath. But if you are chronically feeling fatigued, when you are adequately sleeping, you are doing your training right, you're doing everything, but you're still feeling you're having weak, you're having trouble. If you're lifting, you're noticing that you've been training, eating great, but your runs or your things that you're doing are just not what they normally would. And you, like I said, when you're paying attention to this, you can kind of over time realize. That's why I always say people running log, especially a training log, if you're training for something, you can start to see, oh, on this day, wait, that's actually happening more than I thought.
Yeah.
These were just things that, data points that can really affect us. But we know with anything from if you have cold hands and feet, if you brittle nails, there's all kinds of headaches and stuff. There's all kinds of things that happen with anemia, but they also happen with iron deficiency. So it's just one of those things that you really is just important, like I said, to have on your radar, to be paying attention and to look, hey, I haven't been feeling that great for, a couple months now. This could be why.
And again, so much of this, as we talk all the time, this is why we talk about the nutrition side of it, because a lot of this pretty much revolves around your nutrition, right?
Absolutely.
And that's why we're trying to be so focused. Again, we are hyper focused on this. We want you guys to at least be conscious of this so you can do your own research. Take our information, do your own research. That's what we always encourage you guys to do.
But we just want to put it out there. So, like I said, it wasn't on my radar, and my iron was low.
Yeah.
So it's something that's really important. If you go, I wouldn't just start, definitely don't just start taking supplements or something like that.
Yeah.
Start with your diet. But if you're having these
symptoms
or whatever
consistently,
yeah, getting blood work done. Now they're going to do a normal CBC, that's your total blood count. That would show if you're anemic. That would show if you have decreased red blood cells. That's the first sign. They might do it with a differential that would show your hemoglobin. That would definitely show if you're anemic. But you might be having all these signs. They might say, oh, no, these labs look fine. No, something's like, you know what, I'm just really not feeling right. And unfortunately, doctors don't have the time to parse things out and see what's going on or anything like that. I would be asking, and this is just me, I'm not saying you have to do this, but if I was having these symptoms, I would ask them, I want my iron level, my, serum, iron levels tested. I want my ferritin tested. That's the amount of stored iron you have. I want these because I want to know, because this is a big deal. It 100% will affect your performance and how you feel on a daily basis.
Yeah, so those are the tests that you can talk with your doctor. If they're hesitating, then I would encourage you to maybe consider another doctor, because this is about your health at the end of the day, right? You have the right. So you're asking to gather more data so you can make an informed decision with your doctor. That's the key part here. Absolutely. And so again, you want to try to correct that.
And we know studies have shown this is one of the few things that enhances performance. They're always looking for things that enhance performance, and most of them are illegal. We know caffeine, we know creatine for certain things, we know a few certain things, but when they corrected the iron status and got the mineral status up, it translated into better performance. So that is something that is definitely, like I said, worth doing.
Right. Again, they're studying athletes at the top level, but it's all relative to us. We're not getting paid to perform, but it's still going to affect us, because the bottom line is we want to feel good. We want to keep being as healthy as we can be, right? And we want to run and enjoy all the benefits from that, right? So again, here are some tips on how to correct. Again, this is what we choose to do.
Diet. Always go with diet first. If you're when in doubt, I would be adding these foods in, because they're healthy foods anyways.
Yep. So if you choose to eat meat,
there's just two forms of iron. You have heme iron, which is from animals, and then you have non-heme iron, which is from plants. Now, heme iron is not that it's better, but it's more available. Your body can use it easier. The plant, we don't absorb iron when we eat it, only about 10 to 30% anyways. If you do choose to eat meat, it is the more bioavailable source of it. But it doesn't mean if you don't eat meat that you're destined to be iron short. You can do some combinations and eat some other foods that in conjunction that will help you increase your actual absorption of it. But red meat is the highest.
Yeah.
It just is. There's
the reality of it. It is what it is, right?
I'm not saying it's better, but that
right.
The nutritional profile of it is organ meat, especially shell meat, clams, oysters, and mussels, especially, poultry, all these things. If you're eating them on a regular basis, I still haven't been able to incorporate the liver. I just I'm trying, but it's really hard.
Yeah, well, I can do it because I'm kind of over that aspect of it. I just really want the nutritional benefits of it. I got to do more consistent. When we head back to Florida, I'm actually going to buy some because we got some great grills there at some family that we're staying at. So I'm going to cook it there, and also going to get some great seafood down there. It's going to be amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
That about Florida.
Yeah. So then, like Patty was saying, the non-hem side, which are your plants, right?
Yeah, these are things we eat spinach every day.
Every day we eat spinach. Yep.
That's
what we've talked to you guys about in the past. We have our avocado spinach protein shake, which we do add a supplement or a protein powder to it to get us that extra. But we have that every day, and again, we enjoy the taste. If that's not for you, then figure something out. But you've got to get some greens in your body regardless, every day regardless.
They have a huge nutrient profile. They're nutrient dense, but for iron, they're really good. And like raisins, dried apricots have really high iron content. Pistachios are probably the highest nut content, and pumpkin seeds are probably the highest as a seed. But these things, and legumes, of course, and lentils, these are all plant-based, non-heme sources of iron that you can get in your diet if you choose not to eat. Vegetarian or a vegan.
Yeah. So that just now here's some things that's interesting that most people are going to realize either.
You might not know
things that are going to affect the absorption. So now if you're eating it, but if you're drinking a lot of coffee, or tea, or wine, it's going to actually decrease the amount your body can absorb.
So, and it's not saying you can't have coffee.
Yeah, we're not saying that.
But if you're getting whatever food that you're trying to get for that iron, don't drink it with coffee. And high calcium, ideally don't eat it with dairy, and don't take it with your like if you take a calcium supplement at the same time. Just know that that's going to decrease it even more. So we don't absorb it very well to begin with. Like I said, heme iron is more, non-heme is less. So if you're plant-based, and that's perfectly fine, you're already getting less absorption. And then if you're taking it with your morning supplement or your, for calcium, a lot of people take calcium supplements, especially women. That can affect the amount of iron at that meal. You could think that you're eating everything I'm supposed to be, I'm eating my higher iron, my spinach, my eggs, whatever it is, but might not be getting that. So that's something to look out for. High calcium, like either with a supplement or dairy products, or the tannins that are in coffee, tea, and wine.
Yeah, exactly. Now, with things that increase the absorption are vitamin C, which we always recommend you guys getting enough of. And if you're combining the hem food and the non-hem foods, that's what we choose to do. We're always having a salad with our meals. We had meat or chicken. And then if you cook the non-heme foods, right? So if you cook the spinach, that's actually a good way to increase.
Studies have showed that does increase the, why? Don't know, but it does increase that. Anything to increase it, because remember, we don't absorb it that well to begin with. So these things all increase it. Vitamin C is great for a lot of things, but this is one of the things that's an added bonus.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, cooking in a cast iron skillet actually increases the amount. I've used them. They're great for cooking.
Amazing. They're heavy as
heavy.
Heck, and they're better on. Well, I guess my personal choice is if we're going to use it on gas, but you can still use it elsewhere. But yeah, they're amazing to cook with because of that benefits, and that's kind of old school, but they are coming back because they hold the heat as well. So yeah. So here's a little bit of caution again. As we've kind of been talking about, you got to start with your diet if you've got those symptoms. That's what we recommend. But obviously, check with your doctor. Check with your doctor on everything.
If you're feeling bad or whatever, don't go out and be like, oh, maybe I need some iron. I'm gonna take some iron supplements. Never take iron supplements unless you've gone to your doctor, had blood work done, because iron can be toxic. Too much iron can it's not a good thing. So it can be, while we're low in it, you don't want too much of it. So with your diet, always start with your diet. If you're still feeling off, definitely go get the blood work done. If your doctor says, oh, there's no reason why they shouldn't, but you do have to ask for it. They're not going to voluntarily do that. They go by what the insurance company and what they're dictated by whoever they work for. It's just the reality of it. So
that's the reality. And again, as we've always said before, just listen to your body, use common sense. Absolutely. You guys are all smart people because you're part of this group, of course, but just get some further testing. The point of this is to be aware of these issues, the benefits, and then things that are causing it. And then you can talk to your doctor, listen to your body, and then get some tests run and look at the data. That's really what you need to, that's what we do. And it's going to allow you to make some better decisions at the end of the day. That's the bottom line.
But you should feel good.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
You should feel, I think there is this terrible misconception that as we get older, we're just going to be more tired. We're just going to be more this.
It's acceptable. Like, no, that's BS.
And I say, absolutely not. There's a reason why. If you are doing your proper training, getting your sleep, eating, what you think, not eating the junk food, eating the healthy food, and you're not feeling good and energetic throughout the day, this is definitely one thing that would be worth checking into.
Yeah, exactly. So look at that, 20 minutes right on time here for this Saturday. So 21 minutes. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. If you did, leave a comment below in the comment section. Send us a DM if you have any other feedback. And if you ever want us to see some other topics as we've discussed before, please let us know.
Well, feel free. We will, whatever you guys want. Like I said, I'm a research geek, so I will. Yep. I enjoy sharing information. I always share the stuff that I find. But if there's something that you would like us to discuss, we'll absolutely do that. Yeah, and again, as you guys have been doing recently, we are so grateful for this group and the page. And sharing your pictures. We really love to see them. It is awesome. Because it's motivating all of us, right? To say, okay, Barbara went out and did that run, saying that heat. I'm like, man, I gotta get out there. She's kicking my butt. In Texas, she's in Texas. She understands this heat. Yeah. It is. It is real. It is very real. And so next week we'll be in Florida. It'll be hot down there, but we'll be near the water. So hopefully we'll have a nice cool breeze, but it's all relative, right? So anyway, you guys have a great weekend. Have a great, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. We are grateful for you guys, and we will talk again soon. And then hopefully over the weekend, we'll see some great pics of all your runs. And if you're doing any races, and Michael's doing a race this weekend, so he's going to let us know. I know he's going to share a picture. So say good luck to Michael. Good luck, Michael. Okay, guys. We'll see you next week.